The hunt for Luca Magnotta have gotten off to a better head start. 3 days before Montreal police issued a warrant for the arrest of Magnotta, Toronto police received a call linking him to an apparent murder video online. And despite repeated requests, the Toronto police apparently refused to release the recording of that tip. Sun News Weekend anchor Brian Dunstan joins us now with details on where this is coming from and if we in fact think the police will release it.
Alex, they're not going to release it as of the last phone call that we were able to get an answer to. They said at this time they're not going to release the tape. And, you know, if you go back and look at some of the police procedural TV dramas that are out there, there's one called The First 48. And it's about what police can do in the first 48 hours that they investigate a murder. It's vitally important to actually capturing the killer and actually solving the case. So what would have happened if police had acted on this tip that came from Montana lawyer Roger Renville on, I guess it was 2 days following the actual murder of Jun Lin in Montreal? Would they have been able to apprehend or even put the manhunt for Luca Magnotta into action before he actually left Canada and landed apparently in Paris? That's the big question that people are asking. And now people don't want to put the police on trial, but there are questions to be asked here and answered, hopefully. Why not release this tape? It's not like you're getting blamed. People want to know what was the content of the tape. Now, the first thing that people say is, you know, is this something that should be in the public domain or not? Well, it's a public person making a phone call. Why not let it out there, absolve yourself of any blame if you didn't do anything wrong, as the police maintain? Their operators are deluged with thousands, if not hundreds, of phone calls each night. Some of the emergency nature, some of the non-essential emergency nature. This was a non-emergency, according to police, but they don't want to release this tape, Alex, and they're catching quite a bit of flack for it.
Yeah, I think hindsight's 20/20. Everyone wondering if more could have been done had they acted on the tip. They do defend the tip, saying that they passed it along to Crime Stoppers. But again, had they looked at the website or that video, may have changed things around quickly for the police.
Yeah, and the thing about that too, Alex, is that they have the actual facility to do that. I mean, logging onto a computer and booting up a website while you're on the phone, and like we said, there's thousands of phone calls coming in. Now, to be fair to the Toronto Police Service, they were not the only police authority that Roger Renville called. He called police services north and south of the border, and the only place he got a response that elicited some kind of a reaction was from the Ottawa RCMP 3 days after the actual crime, because by this time, as we all know by now, the foot and hand were in the mail and on their way to government offices.
Indeed. Well, I'm sure something will be looked into. Maybe it'll be this case that changes some kind of protocol across the board. But again, they don't exactly have the resources to check every tip in their defense. But again, when something seems easy to check out, why didn't they?
Alex, you make a good point, though. We talked to Leo Naida, our former RCMP officer and a security investigator, and he made that exact same point. Maybe this will be the tipping point that does change the protocols on how non-emergency and emergency calls are handled at the point of reception.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Brian, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, let's shift our focus to the online world. And for that, of course, we join our own social media reporter, Gina Phillips. And Gina, you have been extraordinarily busy in this last week. So much information on this case, of course, coming through what you do, which is social media.
Well, exactly, Alex. And now people are monitoring it as well. People really catching on to, okay, social media is clearly taking a huge role in this. And now that he's missing, he's disappearing, and everybody's looking for him, people are starting to find hints, or what they think are hints, in the online world. And I think Brigitte mentioned that YouTube account, Beavis and Butthead, that everybody thought was Luca Magnotta. Now, well, a new video has been uploaded on that site that has people questioning that. But of course, their attention has turned now to another one called Hollywood Love Letters. I got this tip from one of our viewers and looked at it, and sure enough, it seems like this could be Luca Magnotta. Now, if we pull up this next YouTube account, yeah, people are posting all over it today. You know, unfortunately, as much hate as there is and anger towards this murder, there's also sort of this fascination surrounding Luca Magnotta, and I think that that's why people are really monitoring these YouTube sites and going on there and posting regularly. So we have that YouTube account, but if we go to websleuths.com, which is a site that it allows you to load up tips, and people are really, it's sort of like an online Crime Stoppers, actually, is what it it is. So if I went there, and there's hundreds of YouTube accounts that people are monitoring thinking that it's Luka Magnotta. So it's really hard to say, really hard to track. But kind of the interesting part of all of this is that regardless of whether it's Luka Magnotta or not, it's people pretending to be him.
Yeah.
And that opens the door of, wow, people are fascinated with him. I mean, as much as we hate to admit it, people have taken a huge interest in it. I want to show you some YouTube comments, people encouraging Luka to hand himself over to the cops and trying to send messages straight to him. Luka, turn yourself in. Please don't destroy anything else. And this next comment, Luka, why? Why did you do it? I also, quickly, I'll just mention this website, people trying to build up a defense fund for Luka Magnotta, and they're saying that he's innocent until proven guilty. Did Luka Magnotta start that site? I'm not sure, but now there's this whole other side of people going to his defense.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
He's just misunderstood fund.
Yes, of course he is.
That'll be interesting if that one actually takes off.
It will.
Gina, you're going to be busy.
I will.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.